How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the Flagrant Talk Sports Podcast. It's Moses here, alongside the GOAT co-host Isaiah Gessner.
Hello, everybody.
We're back with our second edition of Bracketology here on the Flagrant Talk channel. Breaking down Lenardi's ESPN bracket, his updated bracket for the weekend. If you guys saw the last video, you know the drill. If you didn't, we are going to go through every one of the matchups that are currently set, as we are about 3 weeks away from Selection Sunday, 4 weeks away, which is insane that the tournament is right around the corner. But, we had to get this one out for y'all. It's coming weekly. So here's week 2. Zay, what do you got for the people?
Yeah, like Mo said, we're going to be doing this video either on a Thursday or Friday every week until we finally get the real bracket in our hands. Every Monday, I'm going to have a 3 winners and losers video. This week, you're getting 4 videos. As a quick tease, you're getting an Elimination Chamber WWE video with a special guest I'm very excited for. Mo is coming through with his own solo video, so you're getting 4. And I'm throwing this out there right now. Either, if not this upcoming week, the week after, you'll start getting bubble videos where we'll update you on what's going there, particularly with the SEC and all that craziness. But that's all I've got, Mo. Are we ready to knock this video out?
Let's jump into it, man. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Starting off, we are in the South region, aka Auburn's region, the best team in the country, the #1 overall seed, taking on Omaha/Southeast Missouri State as the 16 seeds. Mo, you got any big surprises here, or are we sticking with the obvious one?
I'm going to stick with the obvious. If I had to pick between these two 16 seeds right now, I'm going to take Southeastern Missouri State. Sorry. Got a tongue twister there. They're on an 8-game heater at the time of this recording, so I'm going to stick with the hot hand. Obviously, we're a little bit away from this play-in matchup, but either way, it's not going to matter because I have the Tigers, who just are continually cooking, getting it done, especially after they shouldn't be the #1 seed anymore after that loss to Florida. That they shut that up with a couple amazing wins, especially against the #2 team in the country, and they're just rolling. So that's what I got.
They continually show that they're the best team in the country, game in, game out. They're amazing. So obviously I will be joining you in that pick. Next up, I'll take the lead here as a Zags fan, as are you, but they're taking on your New Mexico team out of the Mountain West, obviously as a Boise State fan. This is a New Mexico team I'm high on. I love Donovan Dent. Put up a hell of a game against your Broncos, but they lost, keeping Boise State's bubble hopes alive. If they can win out while we're doing these videos, you could definitely see Boise State back in here and in the official tournament. As for my Zags, analytical darling, very much loved, and they've started to look like the Zags team that was expected. They're doing a good job of not taking bad losses. You're beating the weak teams in the WCC handily. You have to do that. There's no room for error. Your resume, as we've gone over, is not strong, but you end the year tomorrow, St. Mary's. You'll get the Gales. You got to win that one. You've got San Francisco. And most importantly, Santa Clara, who went to the kennel and beat the Zags. You can get your rematch in. All that to say, After the loss to Boise State and the way the Zags are looking, I'm going with Gonzaga to advance to the round of 32.
I agree. As tough as that is for New Mexico, as high as we've been on them,
Mhm.
especially in these few collegiate bracketology videos that we've done, I
Yep.
agree. I'm going with Gonzaga as they have looked better. The analytics are probably a little skewed just because of the conference and some of the talent in there, but
Mhm.
gonna give them a nod in the first round. I agree. New Mexico kind of showed a little hiccup, one that we haven't seen most of the
Yeah.
season, and kind of scaring me away, especially in this matchup. If it was a different 8 seed, maybe I would have leaned New Mexico, but going Zags.
Yeah. Um, Next game we've got Marquette and McNeese. Marquette now has lost 3 straight games against UConn, St. John's, and Creighton. Uh, and man, it's been a tough slump for the Golden Eagles, point blank. Definitely falling further and further down the bracket. As for McNeese, this was a darling, like we said last year. Going
Yep.
into it, I personally think they are a weaker team this year. So while Marquette is slumping, and I know people love their 12 over 5 upsets, I'm going with Marquette, even with their struggles. But I think I've definitely seen their kryptonite in terms of how far I could have a team like them go in the bracket.
Yeah, I am going to agree. We're 3 for 3 to start. Seems
Nice.
like we are pretty similar in the South, at least going off our last
Yeah.
video. But yeah, these struggles for Marquette definitely a little scary. I showed my cards, played my hand on Shaka Smart last time around, and gave my thoughts on that. So I'll save you guys from the
Hmm.
rant. But yeah, I totally agree, man. I think this
Yeah,
team is it's red alert season right now for
it
Marquette.
is. It is. So I'm giving them this win, but it's not confident. Even though I've made it clear how I feel about this McNeese team, I wouldn't be surprised if this matchup happened and McNeese did walk away with the win, just given what we've seen with Marquette. Um,
Hmm.
Michigan State, Tom Izzo, the Sparties going up against High Point. Um, as for High Point, they were a team we talked about last year. We wanted to see get in. They didn't. They have a great inside out combo with Hamilton and Williams. They could put the ball in the hoop. That is High Point's strength. And I wouldn't be surprised if they shocked a team in this year's tournament. Uh, with that being said, I'm not picking against Tom Izzo in March in
Not
the
the
first game of the year.
Sparties.
Not the
Yeah,
Sparties.
I agree.
So, yeah.
Just been looking good, especially it's been a little bit up and downs out there in
Mhm.
Michigan State, but they've been looking solid the last week or so, kind of
Yeah.
righting the ship and getting kind of hot heading into the tournament, which is always
Mhm.
key.
Yeah, and the problem with the Sparties, I think their kryptonite in terms of winning a title, they are 354th out of 356th in three-point accuracy. Enough said. That doesn't
Yep.
mean you can't make it to the second weekend. That doesn't mean anything, but I think it caps your ceiling, similar to when we talk about St. John's uh, and their 3 point shooting woes. But next up, we've got Louisville taking on either Arkansas or VCU. Mo, who have you got in the 11 matchup? And then are you taking them to pull off an upset over the Cards?
I think I am. I'm gonna go with the Razorbacks to knock off VCU first of
Wow.
all, and I'm gonna have them beating Louisville. This
Wow.
could be some Coach Cal bias, but I'm like Arkansas's game, especially as of late. Uh, this is definitely kind of crazy to have them knocking off Louisville, who's having one of their better seasons in a while.
Yeah.
But give me Coach Cal, man, to do it with a new team, new energy, getting out of the first round. Why not?
So, Moses, we finally have a difference in our bracket. It's
Okay.
finally hit. I have VCU knocking off Arkansas. So, so we've got that flip. But I'm going with Louisville to win.
Okay.
This is a team that started off the year shaky, and since then, I believe has won 14 of their last 15. I love this Louisville team, and they're another team out of the ACC. I know it's weak, but the more I see of them, the more confident I feel in picking them. Uh, and I really do think they have that potential to make the second weekend and shake things up potentially in the bracket.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't fault you. Arkansas, as Calipari said, they need to win these games down
Yep.
the stretch. Like, I know we keep giving grace, everyone is, because of how good the SEC is, of like, they'll get their win, but you need to get the wins. Like,
Yeah.
seriously, it doesn't harm them if they lose to Auburn. That's true, without a doubt. But you gotta beat someone,
Yeah.
somewhere, at some point.
Yeah.
I know this conference is incredible, but, like, you do need to get these wins, so I'm
For
not mad at
sure.
you picking Calipari. I personally am gonna go with Louisville
Not
in
mad
the
at it.
game.
Yep.
Um, Next up, this is great. I didn't even realize this until right now. We could have Kentucky against Calipari in the round of 32. That would be a blast. Are you going with the Wildcats to advance? Do you got a big upset here with 14 seed Chattanooga? What are you feeling?
You know, I like Chattanooga. They could pull an upset off, especially considering Kentucky's, even though they're a 3 seed, it's been, it's been a little scary at times. Obviously
Hmm.
happens when new coaching staff, new energy, new players. But I am gonna have the rematch. I'm gonna have Kentucky moving on
Nice.
to face their
Nice.
ex head coach in the second round.
Yeah, I will be joining you as well. It's tough with Kentucky because the talent is undeniably there, but the injuries have been a serious problem. Like,
Mm-hmm.
they can't stay healthy, and it hurts because you're not seeing this full team gel, but they still have what it takes offensively to make it, to a Sweet 16, Elite 8 type run.
For sure.
So I will be joining you there. In the 7v10 game, we have Memphis who got clipped, and they need to get out of the AAC yesterday. It does them no favors. Um, and then you have the Huskers, who also got burnt as well recently. So it's kind of two weaker teams here in terms of what we're seeing lately. The Huskers need to be
Yep.
careful though before they fall into the bubble. I think they still have some wiggle room before that, but I'm gonna go with the Tigers and trust. Like I said, hanging on to what I said in the last video. They're the biggest boomer bust team in this entire bracket. They will either
Yeah.
make or break it for you, depending on how confident you are. And I'm gonna go with them to win a game.
I am gonna come back and join you after a
Okay.
disagreement in the previous
Okay.
matchups. I have the
Hmm.
Tigers as well, even though, yeah, that loss. Yeah, I
You
just,
can't lose to Wichita State. You
yeah,
can't. Like,
yeah,
point blank. It's like UConn losing to It's not as bad as UConn losing to Seton Hall, but it's like, dude, you can't win or lose that. That can't happen.
hmm especially
So,
this late in the season. Yeah,
nope. Nope. Nope.
can't
You
happen.
need to rack these wins up. So,
Hmm
um, and then the final round of 64 matchup here in the South, we've got Houston versus Big Sky opponent Montana. I'll be honest, maybe it's because I'm an Eagles fan. I'm not the highest on this Montana team. I think they're a pretty weak 15 seed. I'm going with Houston by a kabillion. in this matchup.
Yeah, Houston might blow the barn doors off literally in Mon.
Yeah,
Okay, but yeah,
yeah.
got the
No dis,
got the
you know,
no
it is what it
disrespect. Yeah,
is. No disrespect. That's the round of 64. On to the round of 32. We've got Auburn going against my Zags. And
man,
this is where I think it ends for Gonzaga. Auburn, too
agreed.
talented. I know, again, analytically, the Zags are good. Caliph Battle, when he's hot, he can get really streaky. Ryan Nemhard, a solidified vet. This Auburn team is too talented, so I'm going with the Tigers.
I agree. I also have the Tigers. It's interesting. They're kind of similar though, not as good, obviously, in how their depth is, but they both have depth. They both have
They do.
6, 7, 8 guys that can play. But the like you said, the Tigers, it's a different level. So
Yeah. I I seriously find it hard to have Auburn getting clipped any higher than Sweet 16. Like I feel like you pencil them into the second weekend and then you can start seeing if you want to pick against them. But
for sure.
that's how good they've been. Uh
Mm-hmm.
Next up, Marquette,
Wow.
Michigan State. This would be a great game. This is where I think Marquette's slumping for me kind of turns me off to them. I'm going with the Sparties and Tom Izzo to make the Sweet 16.
Yeah, I believe this is different from the first go around. I think I had
Yeah,
Michigan State being knocked out in the round of 32, but I'm gonna have them advancing. Agreed
nice.
in this matchup. Um, yeah, man, Shaka's done irreversible damage. I'm leaving it there. I'm leaving it there.
Yep. Yep. I have been through the same thing on this channel, so you won't hear a thing from me. Um Next up, you got to take this one away first. You've got
Get
Arkansas, Calipari going up against his former team in the Wildcats. Does the Cinderella run continue for you?
it will not. I
Yeah.
know that they came into Kentucky and got that win, but neutral site, win or go home. I have the Wildcats righting the ship and knocking off their ex head
Mhm.
coach and his team. But I think would be another really good game, like we've already seen between these teams. So
Yeah. Yeah, I had Kentucky lose in the round of 32 last time, and I'm having them lose again. I'm
yep.
going with Louisville to make the Sweet 16.
Hmm.
Chucky Hepburn, one of the biggest surprises of the season. He's been great since transferring from Wisconsin. Uh, 14 of their last 15. I feel great about this Cards team. It's great to see them good. College basketball is better when Louisville is a good program. So I've got
Agreed.
them going on a little run here to the Sweet 16.
I like it.
Um, Houston and Memphis, this final round of 32 game. Are you trusting the streakiness in Memphis, or are we sticking chalk here?
This could definitely be an insane buzzer beater type game, but I'm gonna lean Houston with their top end talent, with the coaching. No
Hmm.
disrespect to my boy Penny, but
Goat.
that's tough, man. I wouldn't be mad if you picked Memphis here, but I
Yeah.
personally have Houston.
Yeah, I'm trusting the team I feel more confident in. I know
Yep.
Memphis, like I said, is the streaky team. I feel like you either got to pick them to go like Elite Eight, or you got to pick them to get clipped first game or two, because there's really
Mhm.
no. I think they're boom or bust in that department. But I'm going with Houston. They've continually showed how good they are. They've put any doubts to rest. So putting them in the Sweet 16 to me feels pretty good, and I like this path for them to make it there as well.
Yeah.
Um, On to the Sweet 16. We've both got Auburn and Michigan State, and as boring as it is, I'm going with the number one overall seed. I'm going with the Auburn Tigers to make the Elite Eight out of the South.
Yeah, I agree. I have the Tigers knocking off the Spartans. They're just it's Auburn, man. I don't really
Yeah,
have too much to say. Like,
no. There's not this deep level of analysis that's needed. It's have you seen them play? All right.
okay.
Then you should feel pretty good
Check.
about picking them to go as far as you want. Like
Yeah.
that's that's how I feel about the Tigers.
Yep.
I have here Louisville and Houston. You have Houston and Kentucky. I have Houston advancing. I've got a
Doesn't matter
1-2 in the Elite Eight.
who we got. I agree. Give me
Okay.
Houston.
Okay.
Boring, boring, boring. But yeah, these two teams, man, they're 1-2 for a reason. So,
Yeah. And this game would be incredible.
oh my
So
god, yeah,
would have no complaints. No
yeah,
complaints.
yep.
To make it to the final four, Auburn and Houston. And this is a tough one. I could absolutely see Houston clipping Auburn here. But I can't pick against them right now.
Give me the
Got the
Tigers, man.
Tigers.
Yep, I agree.
Okay.
Just,
Well,
I, I can't. The performance against Bama, man, just really really locked it in that this team is not. This isn't a fluke. This team is. They are title or bust, basically, is what I feel like they
yep.
believe. And I'm backing that. They're making it to the Final Four.
Yeah, and seeing this team in person get eliminated last year against Yale, I think they're playing with some fire after that as well of like, all right, we're similar to Virginia. Obviously, they lost
Yeah.
to a 16 seed or Purdue, but I think Auburn and Bruce Pearl feel similarly of like, hey, we underperformed last year coming into the tournament hot. We're making up for it this year. So
Yep. Yep.
I feel good in taking the Tigers. Next up, we've got Florida as the 1 seed in the West because, the SEC is absolutely loaded and has to move all of these schools around to to these Florida's in the West now.
It's insane.
And they're going it is. And they're going up against Quinnipiac in this matchup. I'll ask you again, any surprises here or
Unfortunately, not. I have the Gators.
yeah.
Considering they beat the team we're so high on without one of their best players.
Yep.
Um, I think this Gators team is another one of those number one seeds primed to just
Yep.
sweep the floor. But we'll see with these matchups.
Yeah. I'm I'll tease it here. This region is hectic for me. I go a little off the rails,
Mm,
but we'll but we'll get there.
okay.
Not here though. I'm picking Florida to win. A name to watch, Amari Monroe. He has been amazing for Quinnipiac. So if you're looking for someone to tune into during their conference journey, he is definitely a name. As you could see them on your bracket.
Yeah.
Um, but I'm sticking Florida. I'm not getting cute here. Then we've got another Mountain West team as a 9 seed, similar to New Mexico over in the previous region, taking on Dan Hurley and UConn, who, hey, man, that loss to Seton Hall really, really hurts. And I know they've been banged up. They're getting their guys together. It kind of, for a football analogy, it almost feels like the previous Eagles season where
Yeah.
the semantics of a head coach and all of these things start to hinder a program and they take on more of a life than the basketball. So I think that's what we're seeing with UConn here. Uh, It's hard to pick against Dan Hurley, though, so I am gonna have them win a game and advance to the round of 32.
I again seems like the Mountain West struggles are continuing based off of our picks.
Yeah.
I also am going to unfortunately have UConn, even though this Utah, I think they would deserve to win a
Yeah,
game in March.
I do too.
Um, this conversation could be very differently as well if it took UConn to go on a 29-6 run against Villanova to avoid dropping back-to-back games, which would have been awful for them.
Dude.
29-6 run in the second half to come back and the fact that they are able to do that is pretty
Mhm,
eye-opening, pretty insane. You're not going to get away with that in the tournament. You have to play better than you have, and they know that. They're talking about it. I
mhm.
think it's going to come back here in a bit. I got the Huskies. Unfortunately,
Yeah,
sorry, Utah State. It's
I
tough.
know, it is. I like this Utah State team, man. I really do. I could see them going on an elite or not an elite 8, but like a Sweet 16 type run, but it's hard to
Yeah.
pick against Dan Hurley even with what I've seen recently or really all year from the Huskies, in their underperforming.
Mm-hmm.
Um, On to the next game. I think this is a hell of a game. Mississippi State has continued to impress me. Six
Yeah.
and six in a stacked SEC, and all six of those losses are to top 20 teams. So looking pretty good at you're not taking any ugly losses. Their 18-7 record is definitely more impressive because of that. Josh Hubbard has been amazing this year in his sophomore season with the Bulldogs. And with Yale, they are absolutely slaughtering the Ivy League. They are winning
Yeah.
undefeated and winning by an average of 17 points.
Insane.
Hasn't been close. Uh,
Yeah.
and after pulling off an upset last year, I get why people would be on Yale. If they were against a different 5 seed, I might be willing to do it, but I like what I'm seeing from this Bulldogs team.
They are agreed. I'm going to agree with everything you said. Yale would definitely be a what's it called? One that's pulling me towards wanting to pick this
Yeah.
upset here. But yeah, Mississippi State just been locked in. Back-to-back wins.
Mhm.
Number 19, Ole Miss. Number 7, Texas A&M. Just
Mhm.
really, really locked in down south.
Yeah.
And um, I think they're gonna take a dub here in the first round.
Yeah, and that lends us perfectly to the next game with Michigan as the 4 seed versus Lipscomb. Let me make it clear, Michigan is underseeded in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they're a 4 seed. I think they're a 3 seed personally. But what do I know? Lenardi's the boss, okay? I'm not going to argue against the guy. The reason
Yep.
this lends perfectly is Danny Wolf, who has been incredible, is a Yale transfer. So we could have that matchup in the round of 32 potentially. And as someone
Mm-hmm.
who loves the drama, give me give me some of that. But the Wolverines are sitting atop the Big Ten, 6 straight wins. They have looked amazing, and in the last month have grown on me more than any team in the country. I
Mm-hmm.
really I really do mean that. They have been amazing. Uh,
Love them.
I really do, man. As with Lipscomb, they've been a great program as well this year, dominant in the A Sun. But I'm going with the Wolverines. They're too hot right now. I can't pick against them.
I agree. I am also very big fan of this Michigan team. I believe that is 6 straight wins.
Hmm.
Coming back as well and beating Purdue at home after they smacked them around a little bit on the road.
Hmm.
They're kind of firing on all cylinders at the right time. Talked about it last time. Love Vladislav Golden. Love Danny Wolf. Uh, give
Hmm.
me give me the Wolverines to knock off Lipscomb in the first round.
We're we're hidden. We're hidden right now. We're staying on track. We're making all the same picks. Will that continue with one of the ACC's hottest teams? Clemson has proven they can beat anybody at any time. You got wins against Duke and Kentucky. If you could do that, you can beat anyone in the country. As with 11 seeded BYU, really starting to find their own. They started off 1-3 in Big 12 play and are now 8-3 in their last 11 with an absolute routing of Kansas. It was disgusting.
Yeah.
So BYU is getting hot, and I absolutely could consider them for this upset, but I'm trusting Clemson. The analytics love them. I love them. I think it's hard to pick against this team right now.
I agree. Damn, if BYU was matched up with a different 6 seed, I
I
could see
know.
me pulling the trigger on that, but I totally agree. This Tigers team, man, is just completely different from the beginning of the year when I'll bring it up again. My Broncos knocked them off, get us in the
Mhm.
tournament. But Clemson, they're gonna, I think, come out with a victory in this game. Just
Mhm.
two, Duke. If you can beat Duke, you can beat anyone. So give me Clemson.
The I that's kinda where I'm at. They've played
Hmm.
so well, their analytics are great. I think they're one of the more fun teams in the country to tune into as well. So,
Yeah.
and we've seen it. We saw it last year, right? Didn't they make Elite 8? Am I
Well,
I
they went on a
believe? Yeah.
run.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they did. So, I'm picking them again. Uh, Texas A&M as the 3 seed, Wade Taylor and company going up against South Alabama. The Aggies rebound the ball very well. And while I like this South Alabama squad, I'm taking A&M to handle business here as another
I
SEC team, I might add.
Yep, may as well throw that in. I agree.
Yeah.
Got the Aggies winning this matchup. Oh man, just gotta have those guards, man. You got
Yeah.
the guard and Wade Taylor. You got the big shot ability. You got the yeah. Give me A&M.
Yeah, and A&M, they could work on their free throw shooting for sure.
Yep.
That's definitely a weak spot. They also have a tendency to get inconsistent with their shots, but when you're that dominant on the glass, you have more wiggle room to settle into your shots. That will keep you in games if you can turn a team over and rebound the ball. Even if you're missing a couple of easy shots, you'll keep yourself in the game. I think this Aggies team has the upside of a Final Four team.
Yeah.
I think they're that good. So,
Hmm.
got the Aggies advancing. Another Mountain West team, a team that's on the come up in San Diego State. We don't have to talk about the Boise State game. We can move on from that. We're pushing an
Yep.
agenda to get you guys in the tournament, so we'll ignore
Yep.
it. Going up against Illinois, who we both had going on a pretty deep run in our previous one. Uh they're a little dicey to me. It's so weird. They're another boomer bust team like Memphis sitting in the 7 spot. I could
Yeah.
see them going on a deep run. When they're hot, they're hot. I'm going with Illinois, but this is a true coin flip to me.
I'm switching up, bro. With what I've seen from San Diego State as of late,
Yeah.
I think I'll let it play out, but I have them winning this matchup and maybe more.
Wow. Okay,
We'll
so
see.
we've got okay. I like it. I like it, man. I like it,
Yep.
man.
Yep.
And the final game of the region, we have 2 seed Iowa State going up against Cleveland State. Cleveland State's another team. That's a tough 15 seed. They're probably to
Hmm.
me where Montana I think is weaker. I think Cleveland State is probably the strongest 15 seed, but I'm taking the Cyclones to advance in the matchup. They went on that 3-game skid. They haven't lost since. I'm liking what I'm seeing from the Cyclones as of recent, where they've gotten back on
Um,
track.
Yeah, I have them as well, and I was bugging. I was talking about how, normally with this team, they got the defense. They have
Mhm.
offense this year. They
Absolutely.
they can score on the offensive end of the ball as well.
Mhm.
Um, so give me the Cyclones. It's,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Eh, Curtis Jones is amazing, man. I really
Mhm.
like Iowa State's guard play. I think that is what could advance them far in the tournament. Obviously, guards can take you deep. Don't tell that to DJ Burns last year. Don't tell that to Zach Edey last year. But those guards are more than capable of bringing you on those deep runs, and Iowa State certainly has that. So
Yep, yep.
that's a round of 64 to the round of 32. This is for me where the Dan Hurley magic is over. No three-peat for them as the Gators make the Sweet 16.
This would be a Dan Hurley game that they come out and win, and then they go and three-peat.
Totally. Totally.
But I agree. Just gotta the eye test, the season test. I gotta take the Gators here. Little
Mhm.
too far fetched for me to throw UConn into the round of 16, especially with the struggles. But
Yep.
we'll see, man.
Yep.
That game will be sick. It's either gonna
It
be
would it
Florida's
would
gonna
be.
cook them, or it's gonna come down to the wire, solo ball hitting shots. I got
He's
the
so
Gators.
awesome.
Yeah.
I do too. Um and they could be taking on an SEC opponent, which is possible with a lot of these because there's so many in the field, or
Yep.
Michigan. For me, like I said, the Wolverines have been amazing. I love the double 7-footer lineup. Their bigs are great. Trey Donaldson has been amazing this year. I'm going with the Wolverines. I really like this Bulldogs team. I just think they get unlucky in this bracket. I like this Michigan team a little bit more, and I'm picking the Wolverines to make the Sweet 16.
I agree. I don't remember how far I had Michigan going last time. I don't think I had them going this far, but they are that good to do so.
Yep.
Um, yeah, this is really tough for either team because I think they're both
Very.
deserving of making it out of the first weekend, but give
Hmm.
me the Wolverines knocking off the Bulldogs.
This is one of those matchups that I would spend an entire weekend trying to pick just
Flipping
for
back and
Yale to
forth.
end up
Yeah.
beating them. Like
No,
that's how
seriously. Yeah.
it's one of those games where you're like, oh my god, man, when that game happens, there's no when the
It's
game
not
doesn't
happening.
happen. There's
Yeah.
an upset in there, buddy. As
Yep.
March Madness goes.
Mhm.
And another SEC team going up against an ACC team with Clemson and A&M. I believe I had Clemson going on a Elite 8 type run last time, but I love this Aggies team. I really do. And it's similarly with the Mississippi State. They're Clemson is more than capable of going on a deep run. I just like this A&M team a little bit more.
Yeah, for as much as we love the SEC, rightfully so, and talk about them because of how good they are, gotta show them some love here. I agree. I'm
Mhm.
going with A&M, but again, those two matchups right
Dude,
there, like either of those teams,
yeah,
either one of those four teams could be a Elite Eight. Like
I agree.
it's
I
crazy. The
agree.
upside in this part of the bracket is
Dude,
insane. This is one
this
that's gonna mess up a lot.
yeah, this region is stupid, man. If I'm Florida, I'm pissed off.
What?
What do you mean we have
What?
Dan Hurley in here? We have Michigan in here. We've got A&M. We've got, oh yeah, Iowa State is in there as the two. Like, what are we talking about? Yale, who
Yeah,
went on a run last year. Like, come on, man. But
yeah.
luckily, it's hypothetical. We don't know if Florida's going to get screwed or not. Only
Mhm.
time will tell. Um, and the final game, the final team to pin their spot in the Sweet 16, Illinois against Iowa State. But you had San Diego State, right?
I do.
Do you have another upset here?
I'm just lying today. I have the Cyclones
I do
knocking
too.
off the
I do too.
Aztecs. I was gonna send them through, but I can't do it.
Yeah.
I was hating on Iowa State. I can't lie. Last time
Yeah.
around, they're a really good basketball team. So
There
I'm give them
yeah.
a nod.
I I'm guilty of it too with this Iowa State team. I don't know why, but it's
No
something about
reason.
them. I think it is that 3-game losing streak left a weird taste in my mouth, and now even though they've done a great job at correcting it, my brain's like, I don't know, we'll see. I need to accept what's in front of me. This Cyclones team is very good, so
Yeah.
I'm joining you. They'll beat Illinois, who I had go on a run last time. That's the fun part about doing this weekly.
Yep.
A team that goes on a deep run once, I feel a little differently after seeing them play a week of basketball, and I've got the Cyclones advancing. Um,
Agreed.
I'll kick us off here. Florida against Michigan.
I like it. I
I'm
like
picking the
it.
Wolverines. I'm picking the Wolverines to make the Elite Eight. Again, this Florida team hasn't been healthy, and it hasn't mattered one bit. They have been incredible all year. I love Walter Clayton. I love their big men. I just think this Michigan team matches up well against the Gators. I
Yeah, they
love the
do.
double big man lineup. I'm picking the Wolverines.
I don't. I like. I'm for it. Like if I was picking who I wanted, I'm going
Yeah,
Michigan as well. I'm gonna stay boring and stay with the Gators.
I'm not
But
mad.
yeah, dude, I didn't realize. Yeah, Michigan does match up really well for the
Mm-hmm.
that game. Uh, that
Mm-hmm.
would be. I need to see that. I need to see this one.
Yeah. Yeah, I do too, man. Both of these teams are capable of making it to the title game. So,
Yep.
like we said, this region is hell for Florida. This is a very
Mm-hmm.
tough go.
Mm-hmm.
I've got Michigan, you've got Florida. We both have A&M and Iowa State in this game. Who are you picking to meet the Gators?
As I I'm switching it up because I don't want to have another 1-2. I'm gonna take A&M here,
I am too.
but I can't. They're gonna think I'm hating on the Cyclones. I'm not. I just I love A&M's upside, like we've been talking about. They both
Mhm.
have really good guard play. They're both really good teams,
Mhm.
but the conference, the SEC, I think it's just built this A&M team for a deep run. They've kind of already faced the gauntlet, so
Yeah. Yeah. That's the best part for these SEC teams. You've been through hell. So, going into into March Madness, if you're like, "Oh my god, we can play a team from no disrespect, but like the WCC or the Mountain West or the ASUN or whatever it is a little like, "Oh, but that's how you could get upset too.
that's
You
how
take
those
some of these teams
upsets.
for granted." So,
Yep.
we'll see. I'll get us going here since I've got it set.
Yep.
Michigan versus A&M, and I'm picking 4-seeded Michigan to
I
make
love
my
it, bro.
final four. I love this. I've said it a million times, but Golden and Wolf as the two bigs, they've grown on me the most of anyone in the last month, and I'm riding that out in this bracket. I love this A&M squad, but I'm picking Michigan to advance.
I mean, at least we have the same pathway. I have Florida knocking off
Yep.
A&M.
Yep.
Um, dude, you're like persuading me into maybe next bracket. We'll see where Michigan's at. Maybe I have them in the final. I mean,
Mhm.
this is final four. Yeah, final four. We'll see.
Yes.
We'll see.
Yeah.
But
Again, I can't blame you. This is the hardest part of the region. I could take A&M to win it. I could take Florida to win it. I could take Michigan to win it. I could take looking at everything.
Iowa
Iowa
State,
State, I'm not going to sleep on them. Mississippi State,
UConn,
Clemson,
Mississippi. Yeah,
this region is impossible. So if one of your teams is here and they get bounced early, know that it's a credit to how difficult this is more than, anything else. So that's what we got for the region. One half
Yep.
of the bracket is set. On to the second half. We've got Alabama as a 1 seed. They have now lost 2 in a row. Still deserving of a 1 seed. To me, a great,
Crazy.
great, great game by Missouri. Um, we'll get to them in the next region, but I'm very high on that team. I'm going with the Crimson Tide to advance over Bryant, though. No upset. The 2 losses to me over Auburn and Missouri don't scare me. I
That's
think it's
okay.
par for the course with SEC. Yeah.
Two amazing teams. Not a
Mhm.
bad loss per se, even though they did kind of get like the scores ended up being a little bit closer, but I'm excited to talk about Missouri.
I am
I got
too.
Alabama too. I got Alabama too.
Yeah, and, like I said in the last video, the 2 big things for me with Bryant are spacing and speed. This could be a very fun game, but the
Yeah.
talent gap, I think, is too big for Bryant to overcome there, so I'm
Hmm,
taking the
hmm.
Tide to advance. We've got the Oregon Ducks going up against Baylor. I think this would be a fun little matchup here. Who have you got in this game?
The Greenbloods. I got the Ducks in this matchup.
Wow, okay, okay.
Um, we've talked about Oregon with their interesting resume.
Yeah.
But I think I'm hoping the high end Oregon Ducks team is playing this day and can
Mhm.
knock off the Bears. But 8-9, I tried to flip a
Yeah.
coin, but you know how it is.
I I don't blame you. I'll be a contrarian here. I'll pick Baylor. It's been a bit of a weird season for them. 7 of their, I believe, 10 losses are to ranked opponents. Oregon
Damn.
is on a bit of a skid. It's losing 6 of 9. I'm going with the Bears, but this is a like you said, as these 8-9 games are supposed to be, it's a coin flip.
Hmm.
Um, I'm going with Baylor. VJ Edgecombe has really gotten it going, future NBA talent, but this could be a close one. Absolutely. And this Maryland Drake game is very interesting to me. I think Maryland, I might just be the most disrespected team in the country. Their starting 5 can compete with any starting 5, and I mean any. Auburn, Bama, Florida, Wisconsin, throw any of these top dogs at them, Maryland can stack up against the best. Their
Hmm.
depth leaves more to be desired.
Yeah.
They simply can't do that. If someone gets in foul trouble, if someone rolls an ankle, it gets scary for the Terrapins. But with what I'm seeing from this team, while I like this Drake team and I normally pick them to win a game or two in the bracket, I'm going with the Terrapins to advance as a 5 seed.
I agree. Drake, dude, Bennett Sturts, just quick
Mhm.
19, 6 assists,
Mhm.
50% from the field. Just an amazing guard for Drake.
Mhm.
But like you said, that Maryland, they got that starting 5. They got them boys locked in. They're ready to
Yeah.
roll. But it's who
Yeah.
was there was a team last year very similar to this. I think they went pretty deep, but their starting 5 was just insane. But after that,
It,
nothing.
it basically all of Maryland's starting 5 can give you 20 like
Yep.
in any night against any opponent. But yeah, like I said, they have that one thing where it's like that lack of depth could get you against a better opponent if one of your guys is off. If, like I said, rolling ankle, foul trouble, whatever it is, if the lights are too bright, like Jared Allen said, um, then it could hinder you. A note
Yeah.
about Drake that I found interesting: they're not a big team, and they're also not a deep team. There is no player on this team taller than 6'8", and 3
Wow.
of their 5 starters average at least 34 minutes They lead the nation in field goal percentage as well. I'm picking Maryland. I like their size as well. I think that helps stack, but it is fun to see these two brands that are low. It's a short rotation. They play a lot of minutes and they're all
Mm-hmm.
hoopers, all going at it. Very impressed with Drake because of all the turnover that they had in that system, and for them to be in this spot is a testament to the program that they are building, but
Yeah,
I'm going with Maryland.
agreed.
And next up, I'm not gonna lie, this breaks my heart that St. John's and Maryland are here. Like, this really breaks my heart. Those are my two, like them and Michigan right now are kind of my darlings. They're the
Mm-hmm.
teams that I really want to see go on a deep run. Jacksonville State has been very solid this year. As I've said about St. John's, if you have not seen them play, it is amazing. They hustle their ass off. Rick Pitino, probably the funniest coach in the country and also maybe the best, has
Yep.
done a great job with this Johnny's team. I'm going with them to advance to meet up with Maryland. I can't wait to have my heart broken picking that game.
Yeah. I also have St. John's. Just if you haven't seen them play, you have to watch a game,
Hmm.
please, in the next week and come back and let us know what you got. It is insane. It's actually
Yeah.
insane. Like the conditioning, the diligence, like they just trust Rick, obviously one of the best coaches ever.
Hmm.
You have to listen to him if you're going to play for him, and you have to be a defensive dog. That's what they got. Give me St. John's.
I love it. I love it. Another SEC team. A year. Listen, I'm throwing you under the bus here. You're picking the. Please pick this one first. This game is so difficult. Ole Miss has been amazing. Maybe one
Yeah.
of the more, I think them and Mississippi State are flying under the radar in the SEC because of how stacked and top heavy it is in
Yep.
that conference. But UC San Diego, man, it's all about clamps. It's about defense. They blitz the ball. They turn you over better than any team in the country. Do you have an upset here, or are we sticking with the Rebels? What are you feeling?
Oh man. Uh Thank you for throwing me to the wolves.
Of course, man. Of course.
I'm gonna go as much and highly we were talking about this UC San Diego team, and they deserve to be in this tournament.
Yes.
Let me make that clear.
Yes.
I have the running Red Rebels knocking them off in I think could be one of the more fun first round matchups that we have if it does play out this way. Um, give me Ole Miss, man. But again, you see San Diego, one of like top 5 steals team in the country. They have the steals leader on their team, first time eligible for the tournament. Like the story's there. It is right
It
there,
is.
written in the stars. I'm gonna shut it
God
down though.
damn it.
Unfortunately, I'm gonna shut it down though.
I I am too. I'm picking Ole Miss to advance. Another analytical darling. They've been amazing this year. They when they're hitting their threes and they're clamping up on defense the way that they can, you could beat any team in the country. I really do mean that. UC San Diego, like you said, first year of eligibility to make the tournament. I want them to make it so bad. I will advocate every video for this team
Mm-hmm.
to make it as an at-large bid. Um, 20.8 points per game off turnovers. Lead the country in that department. That is absurd. And they
That's
don't give it away.
ridiculous.
They don't give it away either. So it's, hey, we're going to turn you over and over and over and over again and grind you away. And you will not be able to do that back to us. It's so fun. Another one of the more fun teams to tune into if you haven't already. 5 players on the team have made at least 25 3-pointers as well.
Damn.
But I'm picking Ole Miss. It breaks my heart. I think that matchup is a tough one to pick from, but We're on the same page. You know, we're
We
in it
are.
together.
Yep. Yep.
Um,
Take our L
we
together.
got
Take
that.
our dub
Yep.
together. Yep.
Yep. Uh, Next game, we've got the Wildcats, who had a very shaky start to this season. It looked really bad. I remember there were discussions about if Tommy Lloyd could get fired, if like what were these next steps, and they've really caught on fire. Losing back-to-back games to Kansas State and Houston. The Kansas State loss kind of sucks because they've kind of played themselves out of the bubble, but Houston is an acceptable loss nonetheless.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I'm picking the Wildcats to advance, though. I don't know how to feel about them though as a team. I just don't know what their ceiling is necessarily.
Scary. They obviously they score. They rebound the ball really well. But I'm taking them here in this first round matchup. But
Mm-hmm.
it's it's definitely not what we're accustomed to seeing out in Arizona, especially
Mm-hmm.
after the last few seasons of just pure dominance. But
Yeah. And I'm not out on them. They're totally capable of going on an Elite Eight run, but I don't know. It's a weird spot that I feel way better about them than at the start of the year. If you would ask me at the start of the year, I would have said, "Man, signed, sealed, and delivered. They're out. They're gone. We
yep,
can,
they're
they're
done.
off." But yeah, they're all of a sudden you see them here as a 3 seed, and it's like, okay, they're still alive. The loss to Houston doesn't scare me. I think it's more of a testament to how good Calvin Sampson and the Cougars are playing right now. But
Mm-hmm.
Utah Valley, to give them some quick props, it's cool. This is normally a Grand Canyon spot. I would have absolutely
Yeah,
penciled Grand Canyon in to win the conference, and they still can. Utah Valley has played great this year, so I'll give them their credit, but I'm going with the Wildcats. Um,
agreed.
and
Speaking
the
of teams, I'm
7-10,
out on.
dude, I am so far out of the Jayhawks. I said this in my losers video. They were my biggest loser, and it's gotten worse somehow. Uh, it's every red flag is up with this team.
Yeah,
Obviously, still in the field. It's like UConn when they lost to Seton Hall. I said it in the video as well. You're still in the field. I'm not saying it's a red alert, as in you're not going to make it. It's over for you. But your ceiling is clear. It's it's obvious. Ohio State hasn't been this great team either.
yeah,
Where some of these 7-10 games are like, hey, their team's trending up that I'm feeling better about. This is a coin flip for all the wrong reasons.
yeah.
I like Bruce Thornton a lot with the Buckeyes. Ugh, this is a gross one to pick.
It's
I
horrible.
guess I'll do the Jayhawks, but
I personally am going
oh,
Ohio State. I'm
I
that out.
I don't blame you. There's nothing
Yeah,
in
that
me as
is
a
a
Jayhawks
disgusting.
fan. Yeah,
That's a
this is the
disgusting
oh,
7-10. Are we serious?
it's dude. There and it's so funny with the Jayhawks because they've been on like a hey, we're gonna win a game, then we're gonna lose a game, then we're gonna win a game, then we're gonna lose a game over and over and over these past couple weeks. And now it's
Mhm.
like, no, we're gonna lose a game, and then we're gonna get absolutely cooked.
Blown out by 34.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, dude, that game was it's so embarrassing. And they were the preseason
So
number
bad.
one.
Yeah.
It's oh yeah, they to me, they're gonna have to really catch fire for me to feel good about them. Ohio State is
Yeah.
fighting to keep their at large berth alive. I like them. Their efficiency numbers are good. I'm maybe a little higher on them than others. You know what, man?
Mhm.
F it. I'm picking the Buckeyes. Why am
Thanks,
I
bro. I'm
talking?
glad.
I'm saying
Yeah.
all of this. I'm as I'm talking. I'm like, why? I'm saying every negative thing I possibly could about the Jayhawks, and I'm saying I'm higher on the Buckeyes than I feel like most, and I'm picking Kansas. That makes no sense. Buckeyes, it
I
is,
love
man.
it. I love it. Thanks.
Buckeyes,
Thank
it
you.
is. Not that it'll
You know,
matter with what is about to happen, but whatever.
yeah.
Wisconsin, I think the two most disrespected teams in the country are in the same region. I think it's Maryland and it's Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm.
Wisconsin is a championship contender. I mean that wholeheartedly. They are
100%.
an they're an amazing team. All of their guys are capable of hitting the three ball. They have nice size. They can space the floor. They have Tanje, who is incredible as a player. I think
Hooper. Wait,
he's amazing.
is
They
he?
play
Hold on.
faster as well. They
This is the Colorado State kid?
yes, yes,
I was like, bro, this guy looks so familiar. No way
yeah,
he turned into their
yes.
best player.
He's incredible. I
Yeah,
he's been
yeah.
amazing, man. I I the more similarly with some of these other teams I'm high on, the more I see the Badgers, the higher I am. I think in terms of these 1 and 2 seeds, they are the most disrespected. They're not getting their flowers and they absolutely deserve it. Uh the biggest note for me, these boys in previous years play slow. Normally the slowest in the country are bottom 10. They
Yep.
take their time up and down the floor. And it's like it can work. They can grind you out. But now seeing them, they're in the middle of the pack. And I think it's totally shifted the team because playing with even a little bit of speed can now add that threat. If these defenses can take a minute and say, all right, they're going to slowly walk this ball up, they can take a deep breath and settle in on defense. If you could play with a little bit of speed, I think that can carry you a long way. Lead the nation in free throw accuracy. That's
Wow.
important for these close games because you know you're going to be going through them.
Yep.
And lead the Big Ten in 3-point accuracy and effective field goal percentage in their conference games.
Damn.
I love this Badgers team. I could seriously awe about them as much as any team that's currently in the tournament. To Norfolk State, I don't want to disrespect you. Great defense, but I'm picking the Badgers to advance.
I have the Badgers as well. Their big blemish this season was a
Hmm.
3-game L streak, but it was
Yeah,
against Michigan, who was unranked at the time,
yeah.
number 5 Marquette when they were cooking, and
Hmm.
Illinois, who is also a March Madness team. Like,
Yes.
this
Boom or
team is
bust. Yeah,
insane. Dude, I did
yeah.
shout out to Aj, man. I remember him, Colorado State. He was like their, second, third, fourth. Like, he wasn't
Hmm.
really like a big op. That is insane to me. Wow.
Yeah. Mountain West talent, baby. And I believe
Yep.
he spent time at Missouri as well. I could be wrong about that, but I feel pretty
He did.
decent.
Wow. He
Okay,
did.
come on, man, come on, man.
8 games, but wow.
Yeah, he's been
Yeah.
amazing. If you guys haven't seen Wisconsin play, they're a blast. They play good D. All of their guys can hit the three ball, all of them.
Yep.
So they've got the
Yeah,
size.
they
Their big
score.
men can
They
step
score.
out.
Yep.
Yes, they do, and they're not bad on defense either. So I like
Hmm.
this Badgers team a lot. If you couldn't tell by the 5 minutes of glazing I've done, but it's because I'm tired of them being disrespected. It pisses me off to see a team this good not get the love they deserve, even as a 2 seed. So the glazing is, well, it's not done, but it's on pause for now. Baylor and Bama is what I have. You have Bama and Oregon, correct?
Correct. Uh, I'll make it quick for you
Did it
though.
matter?
Doesn't really matter.
Okay, I'm the same. I'm the
Yeah.
same. I'm picking the
Um,
Tide. So
yeah, again, 2 losses. Oh no, like Bama's on a skid. They're fine.
they're fine.
They're perfect
They're
fine.
they're so fine. I'm seriously not worried. Oh, dude, this game is gonna make me lose years off my life. This can't happen. This Maryland St. John's game can't happen.
I'll let you go. I'll let you take it away.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, I threw you under the bus last time. It's only fair I struggle here. Um, man, this is like The Bachelor right now. Like, dude, you can't go wrong, but the way Maryland is playing, as I text Mo way too much about St. John's, but the way the Terrapins are playing basketball right now, I've got them going to the Sweet 16.
I'm not mad at it. I'm sticking with St. John's. I'm not
Yeah,
upset. Yeah. Wow. That is yeah,
that's
it's like
heartbreaking.
having to pick your favorite child, or I don't know what that feels
Yeah.
like, but I don't,
No, I I definitely don't know what that feels like, but I can
but
imagine this is what
yeah,
it feels like.
unless you're that
But
one Montana Tech coach who had a depth chart for his
dude,
kids. Goat, by the
didn't
way. Goat
Dion
quotes.
have that
Dion probably
too?
did that. Yeah.
Yes. I feel like he posted an Instagram caption once and said his kids ranked, but that's neither here nor there, I guess. But
So crazy.
uh, that's hilarious. Um, the next game, dude, this is tough. Ole Miss versus Arizona. I'm going with the Rebels. I'm going
I
with the
am
six-seeded
too.
Rebels. Yeah,
I am
I
too.
feel good.
Arizona, too. Yeah, it's too many question marks for me. Too
Mhm.
many, too much scariness going on. Give me the Red
Yes,
Rebels.
and I like them a lot. If you're a Wildcats fan and you think we're being disrespectful, I do like Arizona, and you could absolutely sway me in these next couple games to feel really good about them, but I like what I'm seeing out of the Rebels right now, so
Yep.
I I'm down with putting them Sweet 16.
Mm-hmm.
Ohio State, Wisconsin. We heard my glazing, so I'm just gonna
Let's
pencil in
just,
Wisconsin.
yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't realize how damn good this. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. They're a blast. On to the Sweet 16. You've got Bama versus St. John's. Mo. Who are you picking?
I think as good as St. John's defense is, I just think the offense and just their ability to get down court. I know St. John's does so good at impeding teams from doing that, kind of getting into their game. I think Bama is gonna find their way around this and roll into the Elite Eight. No pun intended.
I've got Bama against Maryland.
Bro, I'm not mad at it because I've been boring. So spice it up for the viewers.
Give me the Terrapins to make the
Spice it
Elite
up for
Eight.
the viewers. Yup.
Give me the Terrapins. I am again. This is not a knock on Bama. This is a testament to how good I feel about Maryland. I know it feels like a cop out to say that a little bit, but it's true. I'm just that high on the Terrapins right now.
I'm not mad at it.
I'm going with an Elite Eight run. I'm going with an Elite Eight
Love it,
run.
bro.
And
Love it.
they're one of those teams I think has Final Four upside. So will they get there? We'll see on this next pick.
Mhm.
But I'm going with the streakiness. I'm feeling more bold in this second video than I did in the first one.
I like
So
it, bro. I like it.
and then we both have Ole Miss and Wisconsin here. And I think this is where the dream ends for the Rebels. I'm going with the Badgers to take the Elite Eight.
I agree. I got the Badgers slide into the Elite Eight. Your
And that
matchup's in there, but
yeah. Okay. All right. So
I
let me
I
let
have
it
my
rip.
answer for my. I'm letting it fly.
I'm going with Wisconsin.
Give me the
Going with
Badgers over Alabama too. Give me them over
I love
Alabama.
it. I love it. I love it. Dude, I really, I pray to everything that they don't burn me. I really do. because the glazing isn't gonna stop. So
Could
if
be
they burn
Marquette
me,
2.0. Could be
it
Marquette 2,
really
which is what
could.
I'm starting to worry about. But nah,
Yeah.
this is different.
Like,
This is different.
I think so too. So I've got Auburn, Michigan, and Wisconsin, a 1 seed, a 4 seed, and a 2 seed. Moses has 1 seeded Auburn, 1 seeded Florida, 2 seeded Wisconsin here. And in the final region, Duke and what?
I'll save it for when we come back to Wisconsin.
Okay. Okay.
What
Okay.
the? Okay, yeah.
I'm excited now. We've got Duke's region, the final one. Cooper Flag and Company, number 1 pick in the draft. I'm going with Duke. Let's not
Yeah,
mince things around.
got
I'll
the
go with
Blue Devils.
American to advance as well.
I was gonna too. I think I had them originally in our last
Yeah.
video because they were in the first 116 matchup. Give me
Yeah.
American.
Shoot
Sorry,
almost
Southern.
36% from 3 as a team.
Yeah.
So they got that, but yeah, I think Duke wins pretty handily here.
Mm-hmm.
8-9 matchup. Creighton. I'm very concerned. Kalkbrenner getting hurt,
Yeah.
going on a bit of a skid. Where I was once bold on Creighton, I've now really soured. I like the way Texas is trending in comparison.
Mm-hmm.
I'm I'm going with the Longhorns.
I got Texas as well, man. We were pretty similar, I believe, on Creighton, but yeah, that
Mhm.
Kalkbrenner injury. I know he did come back in that game, but it was like
Yeah.
forced because they were
It's
losing and they needed like
Mhm.
it's just yeah, it's not looking too good for the
No.
Blue Jays.
No, and I again, it's not over for them, but what I'm seeing right now, it's making it very hard to pick them to win anything really, especially
Yeah.
when Texas, who isn't this, I'm not saying they're this great team who's going to make it to the Elite 8 or something, but they're trending better than that. So, I'll give the Longhorns a slight edge here. Um On to the next game. Missouri and George Mason. Shout out Lenardi for having George Mason as an at-large bid. Let me just throw that out there. I think that's great. Um, got the Missouri Tigers, who we were talking about. That win over Bama put up 110.
Oh my
It's an
gosh.
incredible win for that team. Uh, for
I
George Mason,
genuinely
yeah, yeah.
sorry, just to talk about
No,
I
go ahead.
genuinely like the way that they were blitzing Bama on like they were giving
Mhm.
them their treatment, just get down the
Yeah,
court, pass, 3, cash, steal, transition, pass, like their transit, like they weren't even.
yeah,
And then when they did had to get into the half court and run some plays, their back screen, like they were just doing whatever they wanted to Bama.
yep,
I haven't seen that a team do that all year to a
yep.
team that's going to be a 1 seed. So sorry, just had to get that out.
No, I'm with you. I think it's and that's the great part about doing these weekly is a win like that. I already felt good about the Tigers, but it makes me feel
Yeah,
even better. I feel even bolder about picking them in filling this out. As for George Mason, very happy that they're here. Their defense is stellar. They are ninth in the country in scoring defense, only giving up 62.1 points per game, only one loss in the calendar year, where they fouled Rhode Island on a 3. I hope them and VCU both get in. I said this last video. I'm going to keep pushing these. If one NCAA official happens to stumble on this, please, I want to see both these teams in the bracket. I want to see
hmm
UC San Diego in it. I think it's way more deserving than a team like North Carolina who's done nothing at all to deserve their name even being talked about. Rant over. Uh,
agreed.
Missouri has looked amazing, as we said. And while I wanted to pick George Mason, I'm feeling a little too bold about Missouri at the moment.
I also have Missouri. Just yeah, too clicking right now. Too
Mm-hmm.
scary. The potential. Go and run.
Yeah. This next game is a fun one. Purdue versus
Yep.
Akron. I had Akron go on a Sweet 16 run as a 13 seed in the last video. Smallest team in the country, hit the three ball well, play with some great speed, space the floor well. Purdue, top three player and player of the year voting, probably, and Braden Smith. We know
Mm-hmm.
how great Purdue's coaching is, really since bouncing back from that loss to a 16 seed. I went bold last time. I'm gonna give Purdue some flowers here and have Braden Smith and company win.
I agree. I also have Purdue here. I do really want to take Akron though, but
I do too. I do
I'm
too.
gonna side with the Boilermakers and the high end talent.
Mm-hmm. Uh, that's the first half of this region. On to the next half. Vandy versus Wake Forest. Got an SEC ACC matchup. Who do you have in that? And then who do you have taking on UCLA?
I'm going to take. Oh, I'm gonna take Wake to
I'm
win
too.
that game. Vanderbilt definitely has the wins. Could pull one
Mm-hmm.
out here, but I just think the Demon Deacons are a little bit more well-rounded, a little more consistent. But either way, not gonna matter because they're
Mm-hmm.
running into, I believe, would be maybe the first, second best 6 seed in this tournament in the
Yeah.
UCLA Bruins.
Mm-hmm.
Team who was we talked about last time is another team that very well
Mm-hmm.
could go in an Elite Eight, Final Four type run. Um,
Yep.
we'll see how that plays out. I got the Bruins in this matchup, but yeah,
It's tough. I'm going with you in the Wake Forest win over Vanderbilt. I would love to see Hunter Salas as a go-to and Jason Edwards for Vanderbilt, who is one of the best scorers in the SEC, um, going at it for a spot to make the tourney. But ultimately, like you said, I feel very good about this Bruins squad. 5 wins over ranked teams, 10-5 in the Big Ten. I think they've been great. Cronin, obviously one of the best coaches in the sport. I'm going
yeah.
with the Bruins here to advance. And this is a team that I was cold on in the last one. Or not cold on, but I felt a little bold picking against Texas Tech. I'm here to fix some mistakes. I'm going with Texas Tech. I forget their matchup, but I felt better about them. I think I had them losing in the round of 32. I think this is a very quality team going up against Townsend. Tex absolutely has the analytics to go on a run. Underrated team as well. They're very athletic, can shoot the ball well. Um, overall, I like this Tech team.
I do as well. I have them winning this matchup. Um, they're who is it? I'm sorry, I'm trying to find his name. It's not JT Toppin.
Yeah,
Oh, it is. Sorry. Yeah,
yeah,
JT Toppin. JT Toppin. Damn near double threat every game.
dude, he's
Just
amazing.
is he related to the other? No way.
To Obi,
Yeah, I don't think
I want to
so.
say yeah. I don't know. Let's
Is there
see. No,
third?
they're not. They're not.
Okay. Okay.
Um, they're not, but still Hoopers nonetheless. Still Hoopers
Yep.
nonetheless. I
Comes with
still
the
wish
last
Obi
name.
Toppin. Yes, I wish you would have been able to play in the tournament during that COVID year. That Dayton team was awesome, but
And
COVID
Pritchard,
robbed us, man.
man. And
Yeah,
yeah. But hey, kind of glad because he might have went up in the draft charts and might not have been
It's
a
true.
Celtic. So
It's true. Great point.
yeah,
Great point.
yeah,
7-seeded St. Mary's against 10-seeded West Virginia. I really like this Gales team. Probably my favorite to win the WCC if I were to pick
yeah,
today.
yeah.
But I think West Virginia was underrated at the start of the year. I think they are still underrated now. I'm going with a little 10 seed upset to advance to the round of 32 here.
I like that as well. I'm also going to rock with West Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with everything you said. Think St. Mary's is going to win the WCC if I had to pick today. But yeah, give me the Hokies, man.
Yeah. Tucker DeVries and Javon Small are both awesome. They sadly took care of business against my Zags earlier in the year, which honestly, that loss doesn't end up being too bad because, like I said, I think it was more people sleeping on this team than them not, being on par with the Gonzaga or something like that. But
For sure.
2-seeded Tennessee going up against Central Connecticut, and I'm picking the Volunteers to win and advance as a 2 seed. No big upset here between the 1 or 2s in that opening region, or in the bracket as a whole. Are you joining me, or do you got a big upset?
I am joining you. I think the
Yeah.
Vols are, definitely a tough loss to Kentucky this past week, but
Yeah.
nothing to be concerned about with, again,
Mm-hmm.
the strength of the SEC. And it was on the road. So,
And they killed Vanderbilt. So
they
that
did.
also
They
helps,
did.
dude. They that
Yeah.
that helps alleviate some pressure um as a whole.
Hmm.
But we got Duke in Texas. I had Texas win the first game out of I feel better about them than Creighton, but I'm going with Cooper Flag and company to take care of business here.
Yeah, man. I don't know. They're just something, could be the aura factor. I don't know. I really like
Mm,
Duke this year, man.
I did too.
I think,
I did too.
they're young. Young teams normally don't do that well in March. If you can
Mm-hmm.
hoop, you can hoop, man. And this team has shown that it's not just Cooper Flag. They can hoop.
Nope.
Um,
Nope.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, probably the most talented team in the country. Definitely up there
Yeah.
with like an Auburn,
I wouldn't be
Houston. I think
mad.
is in that mix. Crimson
Hmm.
Tide, but I mean, Coop leads the team in scoring, rebounding, assists, steals, and blocks. So the
Yeah.
kid's pretty good.
Yeah. He's
Um,
all right.
On to the next one: 5 seed versus 4 seed, Missouri and Purdue. This is where I have Missouri
I do as
staying,
well.
keeping it rolling.
Yep. I do as well. The Tigers, man. I, mm, well, that's going to be a rough one to pick,
Oh,
but
yep. I'm not excited to pick that one at all, but
yeah.
it'll be here. It'll be here waiting. Next game, we've got UCLA and Texas Tech. I believe we had this in the last video when I went with UCLA. I'm going to switch things up a little bit. I'm going with Texas Tech this time around. I really like that team. Um, and I think they have Final Four upside.
Yeah. I'm
So,
going to agree. I think I also had UCLA, but
yeah.
Texas Tech, man, they're solid, bro. They got
Yep.
it.
Yep, they're underrated. I again, similarly to some of these other seeds that are higher, I think like a Wisconsin, they're just not really talked about in the same way some of these other 2, 3, even 4 seeds are. So, I'm not mad at picking Texas Tech here to go on a
Yup.
bit of a run. Um,
Mm-hmm.
West Virginia and Tennessee, do you have a big upset here, or are you sticking with Tennessee?
I'm gonna stick with the Vols.
I am
Um,
too.
yeah, I just think too good to get bounced that
Mhm.
early. But no disrespect, West Virginia, man. They're solid. Like you said, underrated a little
Yep.
bit.
Yep.
Would be a fire matchup.
I think so too. And it's Duke, Missouri time.
I'll rip
Do
the
we do
Band-Aid
it?
off. I'll rip the Band-Aid off.
Okay.
I think as good as this Missouri team has been, not really expected to be doing as well as they have been in this stacked SEC.
Yeah.
I'm going Duke, man. I don't
Yeah.
really see a scenario where this team gets bounced that early.
Yeah.
I could be totally wrong, and I love Missouri, so it's not no hate, but I think the Blue Devils, I think this matchup they'd have the slight edge, but
I'm joining you. But
yeah.
man, this is like this is tough. Again, if you can beat Bama, you can beat anyone.
Mhm.
That's it. Like
Mhm.
they're definitely capable of beating a Blue Devils team, but I'm sticking with Duke at the moment,
Yeah.
which leads us to the final Elite 8 spot to be filled. Texas Tech and Tennessee. Since you ripped the Band-Aid off last time, I'm going with Texas Tech to advance as a 3 seed to
Dude,
the Elite 8.
I love just doing this weekly. It's crazy how much can
Mhm.
change. I also am gonna take Texas Tech over Tennessee.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I don't know. I feel like when was the last time I need to do some when was the last time Tennessee made it to like the Elite 8?
I think they did last year with Connect.
Oh yeah.
But previously they have underachieved in tournaments.
Yeah, you're right. They did with
So,
Connect. You're correct. You're totally
yeah.
correct.
Yeah. Um but damn, that's a tough one. Tennessee's definitely in. I think them and Iowa State of the 2 seeds I'm the most iffy on. We both have them going Sweet 16 and Elite 8, but I don't know. I'm iffier on them than some of these other teams.
Outside of the Connect team, it was 2010.
Okay, yeah, because it had been a minute.
Yeah.
They'd flopped quite a few times. So
Mhm.
that leads
I
us
think
to
history
Duke and
repeats
Texas
itself.
Tech. Oh man, I'm I'm going with Duke. I'm going with
I'm
Duke
leaning
this
Duke.
time.
I'm
Yeah.
leaning Duke as well. I think disrespected them a little bit last time, had them not
Hmm.
make it this deep. Pretty sure did we have all ones last time? We might have been
No,
like
we
ones and twos.
yeah. I yeah. I guess this time around I've got Auburn as a 1 seed. I've got 2 seed Wisconsin, 1 seed Duke, and then Michigan. Michigan. That's why mine is
Yeah.
flipped. I'm like, where the heck is
Yeah.
my 4 seed in Michigan? But since your teams are here, we may as well
Yep.
do it.
Yep.
Auburn versus Florida, Mo. Who are you feeling in
The,
this
re-
game?
the rematch. Gonna go with the Tigers
Yeah.
again for the second straight video, I believe, making it to the national championship. But this time, different opponent.
Mm-hmm.
Give me the Badgers to make it back to the Natty. Knock
Me
off
too.
Duke after just talking about the disrespect. Sorry, it's still here a little bit. Got the Badgers in the national championship.
Yeah. I do as well. I do as well. So I've got Wisconsin there. In this game, I have Michigan going against Auburn in the Final Four. and I'm going with Auburn. I'm sticking with it, which leaves us with the same title game. The winner of this week's bracket is the same winner I picked last week. It's the Auburn Tigers until further notice.
I agree. I also have Auburn winning again.
Yeah.
I wanted to bring this up because I said I would when I talk about Wisconsin again. Tonje
Mhm.
has had 41 against Arizona, 33 against Pitt, 32 at Purdue, 31 against
Mhm.
Illinois, 11 games with at least 20 points. Shout out ESPN. He was not doing that at Colorado State. Like,
No.
just in the transfer it's insane. It's insane what this
Yeah,
has done
man.
for collegiate sports. It's cool, just crazy. But I'm gonna have the Tigers as well, winning it all for the second straight week.
Same here, man. And that leaves us with this week's video. Another long one. All of these ones are going to be long ones. Obviously, feel free to skip around if you want to see your specific team or region, rounds, whatever it is. But thank you for tuning in yet again. And before we go, song of the pod. What do you got for the people?
Song of the pod. I got a song by Playboy Cardi off A Whole Lot of Red.
Mm.
Vamp Anthem. Or no, sorry, not
I was
Vamp
about to
Anthem.
say,
King Vamp. King
man,
Vamp.
fire.
That beat, man.
It's so
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, that beat,
It's so
man.
good.
Just heard it for the first time in a little while. That's my song for the weekend.
Great pick. I've got, ironically enough, an Uzi song. I've
Wow.
got Nakamura by Lil Uzi Vert, little wrestling Shinsuke Nakamura sample in there, which is fire. Sample in the crowd. I've been off the Uzi train, but that song is a heater. So that's what we got.
Mm-hmm.
Some good songs going into the weekend to enjoy. Let us know your picks, how you're feeling, who are your favorites. And we look forward to seeing you guys all next week with a ton more March Madness content. We love
Yep.
you guys, and we'll see you soon.
Later, everyone.